Hello, everyone. So we are live again for yet another Author Live chat with friends. Today, Sunday, 14th November 2021, 8 p.m. CST. We have another non-fiction author joining us to talk about his entrepreneurial journey. The Russell 1 million in the making. So we have author Eric Kaminsky Jr. joining us today. And here's a little bit about him. Writing his first book, The Russell 1 million in the making, Kaminsky wants everyone to know being an entrepreneur is not easy. Growing up seeing all the videos with the cars, girls, and flashy jewels, he knew that no one really knows what it takes. Writing this book, he gives a little background information on where he grew up, putting some family events in the book to also let the readers know he had a basic life and came across real life situations that he had to fight through. So you can get your copy of the book anywhere books are sold or here on the website, which is www.kaminsky.com/author. So without further ado, let's welcome author Ellen, Eric Kaminsky, to the show. Hello, Eric.
Hey, how you doing, Jess?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good, doing good.
Awesome. Thank you for joining the show today.
Thank
It's
you
a
for having me.
pleasure to have you here.
Yeah,
It's a pleasure to have you here, and I am very sure the audience is also eager to get to know about your entrepreneurial journey. And Sunday is especially dedicated for nonfiction books. So I'm sure a lot of nonfiction book, readers, fans of nonfiction books, especially those who are related to those who love reading entrepreneurial based business books. So I think they will be really happy to learn a few things from you, Eric. So
for sure.
before that, Eric, can we hear a little bit about yourself? Probably a brief introduction about yourself. I know I have briefly introduced you, but I think we have. It would be good to hear something from you.
Yeah, sure. So, as you guys know, right, my name is Eric Kaminsky Jr. Was born in Trenton, New Jersey, right? Grew up in Virginia, and I was around a lot of moves. A lot of my friends was making moves. So just growing up, telling a story about myself is that I grew up around a lot going on, and I just absorbed all that, and I just rode the wave, right? So I just got what my friends was doing, and I figured out a game plan for myself, and basically just coming out of Virginia, man, I was just looking for a way to make it out. So
Right. So, tell us a little bit about your entrepreneurial journey and when did you start, you know, doing your own business? Probably, when did it all start?
so when I first started entrepreneurship, right? So I started it way before I thought, right? So it started all out me growing up in middle school, high schoolish. Around that time, I was selling like candy, right? I was selling candy in the school. Everybody was buying it. I was doing like CDs, DVDs, stuff like that. And they just any way to make money, right? That's basically what I was doing. And I started, getting along with school with kids, networking a lot, and but basically in my entrepreneurship started when I realized I had something special. It's when I first sold the first thing. I tell the story. So the first item I ever sold was a pack of Twizzlers, and how it all started was that I was in high school, and I was in the cafeteria, and the guy didn't want to wait in the line. They didn't want to wait in line, and he was hungry and all. And most of the time, I don't eat. I'm not like a heavy eater. I didn't eat that much at school. I'm more of a dinner breakfast type of person, but he didn't want to wait in line. And then basically what I did, he saw my Twizzler. He's wanting one of my Twizzlers, and I was like, "No, man, this is mine." He was like, "Hey, man, I give you like $10 for the whole thing." I wasn't going to turn that down because I know at the store I could get it for cheaper, right? Gave it to him for $10, and then there, that's when I know I had something special. So I took that and ran with it, and they kind of opened my eyes a little bit, right, on the demand and
Uh-huh.
supply, So
Uh-huh.
that's basically how I got it started, and then and just growing up through activities through school, um, you know, I just took it off from there though. But that's how it really got started into my entrepreneurship. So.
So ever since then, what were the different things that you have ventured into, different things you have tried all the way, all along this past few years? What were your experience like?
Oh wow, man! I would say I had a great experience, right? So going off, just selling candy and stuff like that. That was pretty cool. But basically, after that, I had a love for music and modeling. So my mom, she really helped me out with that aspect of my life. When modeling and music, went through agencies in Washington D.C. And basically, we went there every weekend. I had a 4-year contract with AMG Records. We went there every weekend to do photo shoots, studio
Mm-hmm.
sessions, anything of that nature, uh, for me to get the job done, right? So I was growing there. I was venturing out, um, and then it was pretty cool, man, because I was doing a lot of things that the guys and kids in my school really didn't do, and I really cherished that, man. It was really cool for me to do that. So, but beyond that experience, after that, kind of just growing, on my own, becoming my own man, right? I had a lot of people asking me, right? So I started my own type of branding, right, for Kaminsky, right, for my own clothing line that I had going
Mm-hmm.
on. And everybody asked me like, what's entrepreneur about? Like, is it, everybody got all the
Mm-hmm.
glamorous stuff on it. They look on the internet, they see the cars, clothes, and all that other good stuff. And I'm like, man, this is nothing like that, nothing like that at all. So, I was letting them know, I was telling people about stories of me starting up, how I had to save money up, how I had to get help. I need help. How I had to, grind, man. I just had to grind and try to make things happen. And that's when I realized that I had also had something else. Me looking into becoming an entrepreneur, uh, making income, right? Bringing in a stream of income. I was like, everybody asking these questions, man. I could put it all in a book. So I was like, yeah, I had a story to tell.
Mm-hmm.
So this is how the Grussel 1 million in the making came in hand. Is when everyone had questions for me, and I was basically giving them my personal experience, and I thought I could put that in a book and put it out there. So
Right. So, tell us about your, the journey of writing your book, and when did you publish that? Is it self-published?
yes, it is self-published. I believe, I'm gonna be telling fears of myself. I believe it was either 2012 that I published it. But it's been out for a while. I had a rough start with it, and this is what I like, right? This is what I like about how I did the book, right? So I went through the process. I researched a little bit on how I created a book. It took me about a year and a half to 2 years to actually write it. Uh, but when I got all the content and I figured out how I want to put the book together, I had the first copy out there, and it was the layout was rough, right? But I put it out there. I got feedback, and the first draft was rough. But then after that, I looked at it again. I had other people look at the structure of the book, had get feedback. More proofreads. I went through the whole shebang, right? Worked on a little bit of promotion, but just making the book, it was a good experience. It was a learning experience. It was my first book ever published, by the way, and yes, it is self-published.
Ah, right. So, what were the feedback that you got from your readers, your family and friends, those who have read the book so far? How is the feedback like?
So first off, of course, my mom had to give me an earful, but but yeah, she read it. She gave me a lot of good feedback. She liked it, right? Of course, there's some things she didn't like, about me telling me how I struggled and what I did. But reality is, I wanted to be as real and as true as the readers and to myself as possible, right? I got a lot of feedback from my friends, right? They let me know how it was them reading it. Everybody's got a different kind of aspect, a different level of reading, per se. But the feedback they gave was good, right? And what happened was when I did with that feedback, and then one more feedback that I thought was really big was some of my colleagues that I work with and some of the guys, that I hang around with. There was like normally every story has like I guess a failure or a moment where you know uh, you're down on your back and you're down and out and then you get right back up, right? That type of thing. And I really didn't have it at first. But and I still don't think it's really. I think throughout the book, there's times when I'm down and up, down and up, down and up, and I kind of talk about my mindset and how I changed it and what I did to refocus myself. That way, I can get back to what I do, right? But that was one feedback that I had, is that I didn't have like a part of the book where I was a failure. I failed at something, right? Which I failed in a lot of things, right? I
Mhm.
failed in a lot of things, and I got back up. But I did point out with the feedback I got from everybody. I did make some changes. I took the feedback serious. Made some changes to the layout of the book. Uh, some wording had some proofread. Like I said, I had some reading of other people for the book, and I took it serious. I took the feedback serious. So yeah.
Right. So, your book is, I was actually flashing your website, and this is your website, kaminsky.com.
Yes.
And this is a little bit about yourself. You have, this is the link to get the book. I think this is where people can click on to get your book. Yes, here it is. Right.
Yes.
So, is
Yes.
it available on Amazon as well?
Yes, it's available on Amazon. It's also available on Barnes and Noble. It's available at
Mm-hmm.
Walmart. Anywhere books are sold, you can get this book. And I actually have on my website, I have personal copies. So the only thing that'll be different if you order the book from me at my website at kaminsky.com /author is that I'm signing the books. So any books that get ordered or purchased through my website, I sign them. But the ones on Amazon and all the other, Barnes and Nobles, all the other booksellers, it's not signed. It's not signed copies. But this book is everywhere books are sold. Yes.
Awesome. Right. So, do you have any plans to, like, write further? And what do you think about your writing journey? Has writing been always your kind of thing that you know you enjoy doing?
Say it one more time for me. I'm sorry.
Yes. Do you have plans to write any more? Like maybe book two, book three coming up?
Oh yes. So I'm
Mhm.
actually working on something right now. I got a lot of things going on, but as far as this book, right, I wanted to. It's the same intent that I put when I first put it out. I wanted everybody to learn the process. Of course, it's my story, right? It's my story, but the big thing is to learn that
Mhm.
entrepreneurship and starting your own business it's not all fun, right? You got to be motivated and you got to be driven to do it. But the next installment of the series that I want to do is actually inside of an entrepreneur's mind. So that's the next book
Mhm.
that I'm actually writing now, and basically this book will actually be uh I guess basically the title, right? So inside of my mind of what a husband, father, CEO, everything that goes through an
Mhm.
entrepreneur's mind with all these responsibilities and when you got a goal and when you're trying to achieve being successful in your business, just what goes all through the entrepreneur mind. So I am very strategic on this next book that I'm doing because I I think it's a very big subject and topic that we really don't talk about a lot. Is the mental state of the entrepreneur. So it's something that's it's gonna be very cool to do, and I can't wait to finish this book and give it to you guys. So
Awesome. I mean, like, I think I definitely can relate to the mental toughness that is required, as an entrepreneur because it's a lonely journey. So
yes.
tell us a little bit about that. Like, how did you navigate through the challenges being alone, being just solo, and you would just have to get it through alone?
Yes, so it's a mindset, right? When you go into entrepreneurship, you got to understand that it's going to be hard. You got to understand it's going to be tough. Anything that you're trying to do, and I think anything in general in life, it's not easy, right? Especially if you're trying to do something you love. It makes it easier if you're doing something that you love and that you're passionate about, because the grinding part and the just doing it part is easier because you're doing it because you love it, right? But just going around the mindset of you doing it, just me being alone, and going into entrepreneurship, you understand you might have family and friends that you think can help you out or support you. Just understand that may not be
Mhm.
there. So you need to understand that
Mhm.
because a part of my book, right, in the Grussel 1 million in the making is that I talked about this is that how I reached out to my family and friends, and really my mother was the actual backbone of me, and I thank her so much. She was the one really there for me, and I think without her I wouldn't be at where I'm at now. Probably would take me a little bit longer, but she really helped me out a lot. But when I reached out to family and other family and friends for uh, not only help but support, right? After I started it up, I was trying to see who wanted to get involved, who wanted to be a part of it, but it turned to a them thing and not a me thing, right? And I try to make it a us thing,
Mhm.
and I saw the bigger
Mhm.
picture, but then everybody have uh, their own thoughts going through their head. They see you doing things, jealousy, envy, all the other stuff play a part. But you got to stay focused on your goal. It's your dreams. No one's going to make your dreams come true but you, right? So you got to understand that,
Mhm.
and when you wrap your mind around that, you understand what needs to be done. But yeah, I done it right. I've been alone in certain tasks. I reach out for a helping hand, for support from people. I got support from people. I'm not gonna say no one support me. It's been people that support me, and I'm thankful for them. And I communicate with them. I reach out to them. But everybody's not going to, and it's the least
Mhm.
people you think that would. Like I had strangers support me, other than maybe my closest family members, right? So it's very crazy. You'll be shocked out there who's willing to listen or help you out, but you have to
Yes.
believe in your dream to do it. So it's just wrapping. It's a mindset thing for me. It's wrapping your head around the situation and what you really want, and if it's something that you really want to do and you're passionate about, it'll get done, man. So
Right. And coming to the plans that you have for your business and devising the strategies, and things like that, it may not always go according to your plan, right? So um, probably if you want to share some experience that you had in the past where things didn't go according to your plan, how did you navigate through that?
oh wow, where do I start? It's so many. So um excuse me. So let's see. I want to pick a good one. So I want to make sure I understand the question. Just a situation where I try to do something and it didn't go to plan right, and how I reacted to it. Is that what you're asking? Yes. Okay.
Yes,
So
yes.
so one thing that happened was that gosh, I want to see. All right, so it's a magazine, right? So I want to pick the magazine because the magazine, the local magazine that I wanted started in Virginia. So it really didn't go to plan how I wanted it, and I talk about it in my book. It's one of the biggest failures that I had. But so one thing that I was having, I guess, issues with that I think most entrepreneurs have with is networking, right? So I'm trying to network
Mm-hmm.
with other people, trying to get them, to kind of support me, or jump on the boat with me, as you if you want to say that, with my brand, with my clothing brand or what I'm doing. And it seems like a lot of people not doing it right. They say this, that, and third, but supporting somebody and saying you're going to support somebody is two different things. So I, I thought of
Mm-hmm.
a plan. I thought of a plan, and I was like, okay, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to create a platform, and I'm going to do something to where I can network with people and build like a brand, or build like a relationship type brand with everybody. So basically, what I wanted to do was a local magazine, right? No one's really doing that, right? And I think it's something really cool because one thing growing up, when I did music and modeling, main thing with modeling is I want to get my picture in the magazine, right? I want to be in front of a magazine. So I researched it, right? And just one thing that you guys that I also call out in this book is anything you want to do, research, research, research. So basically, I researched about doing this magazine, and I feel like I should have put more research into it, but I did research. I should have put more energy and more thought into it, but I did research it for probably a month or two, and I figured, all right, I'm gonna do this local magazine. I'm gonna work with local artists or local models or anything like that. So basically, what I did was I networked with a couple of people that local, I guess, local media groups or local media cats
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
around the local area that does like interviews with other people. I try to network with them, set up photo shoots with models wearing my clothing. I try to get other people clothing in there. Network with beauty salons. I network with gym trainers. I tried to do local food
Mm-hmm.
businesses. I did the whole shebang, man. I was out there getting it right, talking to everybody. Uh, but with the magazine, I couldn't really structure it in the way that catered to my life at the moment because I was actually, I was going to school for a little bit. I don't want to say I'm going to school, but I was like getting a certificate, going to classes, working two jobs. And around this
Mm-hmm.
time, I had, a wife and kids. I had to support them with my job. And my job is not a regular 9 to 5. I work like 12-hour shifts. So with that, on
Mm-hmm.
top of me doing this, you can kind of tell that it was a kind of busy moment for me. And I felt like if I put my more energy into it, I probably would have came out on top with the local magazine that I tried to do. But basically, what I wanted to do was when I was networking with people, I was trying to get it to transition to the point where the people I'm networking with were kind of drive the magazine, or I get a couple local media groups or guys that's doing interviews for their blogs and stuff like that. I try to work with them for them to actually drive the magazine, and I stepped back from it. But the plan didn't work out. It was my vision. Everybody had their own thing, and it kind of slipped through my fingers, and I failed in it, which is cool. I was good to accept that. I learned from it, and it's in
Mm-hmm.
the back burner right now. But I come back to it when I can. But it's still something I still want to do in the future. But that's definitely not how I pictured it happening when it did. So.
Mm-hmm. So, if in the future, if you were to, if you're gonna do it again, how different would it be? And what are the what are the things that you would like to do differently?
Just with anything in general.
Mm. I mean, the magazine,
Oh, the
the
magazine. Oh, yes. So
magazine.
if I was to do the local magazine again, I would definitely work with some photographers. I didn't have like a photographer
Mm-hmm.
group. I would definitely get a photographer group. I work with a designer, so I believe a photographer and a designer would be the main keys that I need. And then if I have to, I would be like the lead guy as far as like going out getting interviews, talking with local people. But photographer, designer, and then an actual a blogger or a media person that actually go out there and do interviews. That would be I would look for a team of three, or at least work with three people. They don't have to be like a group thing, but I would need those three aspects
Mm-hmm.
to actually make the magazine launch. So that's definitely one big thing I would do before I even get into talking about it. And I definitely would put different type of focus on it, different type of energy, because with magazines, right, this is we're in the new age where magazines are like, I mean, I see them when I go in the grocery store, but like, I mean,
Mhm.
I haven't talked to nobody that really read magazines. So with that
Mhm.
being said, and the thing that I liked about the idea I had with Throne, I called it Throne magazine, but the idea that I had with the magazine was that it was all about the local, right? It's all about the news about locals, getting everybody's name out there, networking with people. So I brought that uniqueness with the magazine, and not only that, right? You know, going out there to shows or to food restaurants or to work with models and work with people like that. It's good exposure. It's good to have that magazine in your hand, right? You get to have that hard copy, and I think everybody cherishes stuff like that, sort of like a trophy type thing. But we moving on to like the digital area, so I would love to research more about the digital. I looked on it a little bit about magazines, so it's a lot of, I mean, basically all the magazines going digital, if not just blogging or video or vlogging. I think they call it vlogging.
Mhm.
But so
Mhm.
basically
Yes.
that's all they doing, right? So I would definitely need that team, like I said. Photographer, web designer, and a blogger or a vlogger. I can't even say it. But before I even started, that's basically the team I would need, and then I will work with that group to research around what can we do to make this special.
Mhm.
So
Awesome. Right. So it looks like you have a future plan in place already for the magazine. And I believe that it just takes probably the right time for you to act upon it, right? So
yes.
apart from that, what are the other future plans that you have in mind, like the ones that you're working on at the moment?
So at this moment, man, I do a lot of stuff. It's crazy. So at this moment, right, in the space and at the mindset I am right now, I'm more focused on building. I'm still kind of like focused on the foundation of my business. I put it to the point where I got stuff out there, right? Me as a brand, with the book, right? I got certain clothing items. Focused from the ground up, and I'm revisiting everything that I'm doing, right? Even with the book. So I got a second book coming. So I'm a research more on that, right? Look what I need to do. How can I market better? How can I promote better? With the clothing, this is something that I'm actually working on now. I got a new line that I'm working with clothing manufacturers. So after making a big move from out of Virginia, I'm not in Virginia no more. So I'm working with different people. So I got a different clothing designer that I'm working with. I got a couple tech packs that I put together as far as designing my new clothing, and working on some merch, working on some new merch, a new clothing line. To start
Mm-hmm.
up now. It's going to take a little bit of time, but I want to do it right, right? So I'm revisiting that. So how I did it before, like what am I going to do different? That's going to make a change. If I do this, how I'm going to do it better, right? I always want to do better and be the best at what I do. So I'm actually looking at new merch. So right now I'm looking at a new clothing line, the book that's been in the making for for a minute now, and then also I am looking at doing some more music. A little bit touchy on that, but I
Mm-hmm.
have done a little bit of music. I haven't been doing it lately, but it's definitely something I love, and I will be coming back to that also. So
Yes, I can see the tag over here on your website, and you got music over here, the album, and here's where people can actually listen to your music. So tell us about this. Like when did you venture into music and your passion for music?
yeah, sure. So it started at a young age. When I was growing up, I had my uncle, my mentor that I looked up to. He did music. I had a good passion for music. It started out when my dad actually sent me a mixtape. So how I started with music is that my dad sent me a mixtape. I loved it, right? And I kind of took it as, it was something that I can do. I liked it so much that I was like, I got to do it. I want to do this. So I started doing
Mm-hmm.
music. I started out as like low key, right? No one really knew that I did it, but I did it. And when I was traveling back and forth to DC, Washington DC, with when I was signed with AMG Records, when I was in high school, basically we was creating my portfolio, my demo, shipping my image, and my me as a package, right? Me as a package to these companies,
Mm-hmm.
and got quite a few deals. But I think the aspect of my mom not liking me finishing school, so that was the big thing, right? I wasn't able
Mm-hmm.
to finish the school, and my mom was a big person on school, so it's a lot of things I didn't do because of that, which I may have missed some things, but it's fine, right? I'm grateful for the decision my mom made, because I got out of school, got my high school diploma and all that other good stuff. But I did start music early when I was in coming out of high school, and I did a little bit after, and I just got a love for it, man, and something I want to continue to do. I'm definitely going on a different type of image, a different type of path, because I'm a husband, father, CEO right now, so it's definitely different type of music that I will be doing, man. But I just love it. I just love doing it.
Mm-hmm. Right. So, tell us a little bit about your family and how does your wife support your journey and because I do believe that it's extremely crucial to have their support, especially the immediate family member. So tell us about that, like communicating your aspirations, communicating your dreams to your immediate family members.
Yes. So it's very. My wife was very supportive, man. Like when we met, she already knew me as a guy selling candy around the school and stuff, right? Get in trouble with teachers for selling candy in the classroom and stuff like that. But when my wife met, man, I was working two jobs, selling candy in school, and I had a job, and I was going to college full time. I was going to school. I wouldn't call it college. It wasn't a big college. It was an online school, but I did it for business
Mm-hmm.
administration, right? Um, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so she knew what she was getting herself into. But somehow I
Mm-hmm.
made time for her, right? She was there for me. We was definitely friends before uh, we became lovers. But she was very supportive, and then when I think it was a big impact on us when we had our first child, and it was a big, what us having our first kid, it was a big turn. I know for myself, I believe for both of us, but for myself, because now that I'm not only doing it for me and my wife, even though I had my wife there, she took care of herself. She had a job. She did her own thing. But bringing a kid into the world, man, it brings a whole nother aspect on what you're doing and why you're doing it, right? So
Mm-hmm.
it really changed my mindset again. Right, I focused. I
Mm-hmm.
understood. I understood what I could and couldn't do, and I understood my responsibilities. Right. So when we had our first child, that definitely brought us closer together. Made me focus more. Made me more ambitious. And she was very supportive the whole time, man. The whole time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right. And so Eric, before we actually end the show today, do you have anything to tell the audience out there, specifically with regard to your book? And what is the message that you would like to tell young people out there who wants to dabble into entrepreneurship and try new things? Do you have anything to tell them?
Yes. So, any entrepreneurs out there that's trying to, that's trying to be a part of this popular thing that's going on right now, right? I, I want you to understand that it won't be fun all the time. Understand that. Uh, Make sure you want to get into something you enjoy, right? You want to be an entrepreneur. Business is business, right? You gotta love business. That's the main thing. But no matter what you do, if it's clothing, if it's music, if it's streaming, if it's vlogging, blogging, whatever you want to do, you got to make sure that it's something that you love, because it makes it just a little bit easier to do, right?
Mhm.
If you're doing something you love, it makes it a little bit
Mhm.
easier. But understand that the journey, you're gonna fall, you're gonna fail. Don't quit. You need to understand that when you fail, you gotta learn. Don't fail for no reason, right? If you
Mhm.
fail or you don't make
Mhm.
it or you fall short, learn from it, understand what happened, why it happened, and then get back in there and try to do it again better. Try again. You have to keep trying, and understand that process, respect the process, and you would be all right if you do it that way. But it's not going to be easy. Just understand it's not going to be easy, and you have to work for what you want.
Absolutely, I think you said it perfectly, and because I do believe that even family members are not really going to be supportive all the time. Like
Yes.
you will have to prove it to yourself that it's going to work
Yep.
before they even believe you that
Yeah.
you are capable of doing it. So
Yeah. Mhm.
that that's the catch because you want people to support you when you think that you cannot do it for yourself. Like it's not possible to pull through. But that's exactly when people would also still not believe in you because they have not seen the results.
Exactly. Yes. I agree.
And that's the hardest part of all. But you've got to do what you've got to do for yourself, right? So,
Exactly. Yes.
yes. So I think your upcoming book on how to deal with mental health as an entrepreneur is really going to be very useful for people who are in business who are trying to do something different away from this 9 to 5 job and just trying to build something for themselves. It's really going to be useful. So definitely, I think we would catch up again once your new book is out. And
Definitely.
thank you, thank you so much, Eric. I think you have shared quite a bit today
Yes. Thank
with
you for
regards
having
to
me.
your book and also your journey. And it's a pleasure talking to you. It's a pleasure talking to you. So what I'm going to do is that once this interview is over, I will be putting this up on YouTube and also Instagram, and for cross posting this on Instagram and also YouTube. So it would reach out to many other people out there. So
Love
thank
it.
you so much, Eric. Thank you so much, and I will be sending you the links shortly. Thank you so much, and hopefully, I know we can meet again in another session. And thank you so much. Till then, take care and stay safe, Eric.
Thank you for having me. See you later.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you. It was a
Yeah.
pleasure
Yeah.
talking to you.